It's a completely ordinary moment. You stand up from the sofa to grab a glass of water, or maybe you just realize you left your phone in the other room. But as you move, you hear it, the immediate rhythmic click-clack of paws on the hardwood. You stop at the sink, and there they are, sitting quietly by your feet, watching you rinse a cup as if it's the most important event of the day. You go to the bathroom and shut the door, only to see a wet nose nudge the crack at the bottom. Most of us laugh and call them Velcro dogs. We tell ourselves the simple story. They're just needy, or they think we're heading toward the treat jar. We treat it as a quirky lack of personal space, a dog just being a dog. But that is a polite misunderstanding of a much deeper reality. When your dog follows you into a boring hallway where nothing is happening, they aren't looking for a snack. They are navigating what psychologists call the gravity of the anchor. You see, to a dog, the world isn't measured in square footage or floor plans. It's measured in distance from it. While you see a house with 4 walls, your dog sees a shifting landscape of sensory chaos, loud noises, strange shadows, and unpredictable scents. In that blur of uncertainty, you are the only object with a fixed coordinate. You aren't just their owner, you are their primary reference point. But here's the haunting part. They aren't just following you because they love you. They are following you because in their mind, if they lose sight of you for even a moment, the gravity of their world literally fails. They are orbiting you to keep their own reality from drifting into the void. And the reason they can't let you take even 5 steps alone reveals a hidden struggle in their nervous system that most owners never notice. But here is where the orbit reveals its true purpose. Have you ever noticed that your dog doesn't just follow you? They watch your every micro movement. You reach for your keys and they're already at the door. You sit back and sigh and they finally collapse into a deep sleep at your feet. This isn't just about being a quote-unquote Velcro dog. This is what psychologists call social translation. You see, for a dog, the human world is a chaotic storm of signals they don't understand. Doorbells, car engines, the glowing screens we stare at. To them, it's all white noise. In this storm, you are the only translator. When your dog follows you from room to room, they are constantly reading your body language to figure out what the world is doing. If you are calm, the house is a sanctuary. If you are rushed, the world is a threat. But there is a hidden cost to this devotion. By following you everywhere, your dog is performing a continuous cognitive map update. They aren't just walking. Their brain is working overtime to predict your next move so they don't lose their safe base. Most owners see this as a sign of absolute loyalty, but look closer at their eyes when you move too fast. This isn't just love, it's hypervigilance. For many dogs, the golden thread of connection we talked about is pulled so tight that they can't even rest unless they are touching you. They have become prisoners of their own devotion, and the reason why this happens reveals the one thing your dog is desperately waiting for you to say without words. But this is where the golden thread of your connection starts to hum with a dangerous tension. If your dog can't let you move 3 feet without springing up from a deep sleep, they aren't just being loyal, they are suffering from hypervigilance of the heart. In a healthy bond, you are a safe base they can return to. But when a dog becomes your shadow to the point of exhaustion, it means their internal compass has broken. They no longer trust that you will return if you turn a corner. In their mind, every time you stand up, the structural shift we talked about in the void of an empty house is happening all over again, even if you're just going to the kitchen for a spoon. They are trapped in a predictive loop. They follow you to catch the micro cues of your departure, the jingle of a pocket, the specific way you lace your shoes, the shift in your scent as you prepare to leave. They aren't walking with you, they are pre-mourning your absence. Most owners find this endearing, but for the dog, it's like living in a state of permanent yellow alert. Their nervous system never truly hits 0 because they are too busy being your shadow. They have forgotten how to be a dog because they are too busy being your guardian. But there is a way to break this tension, and it requires you to give them the greatest gift a leader can offer, the permission to stay behind. But here is where the orbit must change. To save your dog from this state of constant yellow alert, you have to perform a system reset. You have to transition from being their moving target to being their stationary anchor. The next time you stand up and feel that familiar shadow rising behind you, don't just ignore it and don't get frustrated. Instead, try a tactile release. Before you leave the room, give them a clear, calm signal, a specific word or a firm, grounding pat on the shoulder. This is you manually cutting the tension of the golden thread. You are telling their nervous system, I am moving, but our connection is not breaking. When you practice this, something miraculous happens in the dog's brain. They shift from hypervigilance to active trust. They realize that home isn't just the 2 feet of space right next to your legs. It's the entire atmosphere you create. Slowly, the click-clack of paws will stop. They will stay on the rug, watch you walk away, and instead of springing up, they will do the one thing their body has been craving for hours. They will close their eyes. This is the ultimate goal of your relationship. True loyalty isn't measured by how many steps they take behind you. It's measured by how deeply they can sleep when you aren't in the room. Because when they finally stop following you, it's not because they love you less. It's because they finally feel safe enough to let you go. This leads us to the final, most hauntingly beautiful truth about the shadow at your heels. We often think of our dogs as our pets, creatures we brought into our human world to fit into our schedules and our homes. But in the silent language of the pack, the roles are reversed. In a 2D animation, imagine your house once more. But this time, the walls don't just fade, they dissolve into a vast, swirling mist of gray static. This is how the world feels to a dog without you, a chaotic storm of meaningless noise. But in the center of that mist, there is you. You aren't just a person. You are a glowing, golden lighthouse. Every time you move, that light shifts. When you stay, the light stabilizes. Your dog follows you because they aren't just living in your house, they are living in your radiance. To your dog, home isn't a mortgage or a backyard. Home is the 3-foot radius around your body. When they finally stop pacing and fall into that deep rhythmic sleep, they are making a profound statement of faith. They are saying, I don't need to see the world anymore because I am standing in the light. So the next time you hear that familiar click-clack behind you, don't just see a Velcro dog. See a soul that has decided, out of all the noise in the universe, that you are the only thing that feels like peace. You aren't just their master. You are the gravity that holds their entire world together. And as long as you are there, they are never truly lost.